All right, for those of you that can hear, they're going to enjoy the podcast recording. For those of you that can't, it is what it is. You can go and download the episode at a later date at Utah in the Weeds, any podcast app you can find it in. Anyway, we should get going. This is going to be a live recording at WB's Eatery here in Ogden. Thank you to WB's for letting us record. Thank you to Cole with Salt Lake City for putting on this event, and WB's for hosting it.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to introduce the owner of WB's right away, and there's a little housekeeping that she needs to do, and it's just great that you've asked everybody to be here. This is really exciting. Vivi from WB's Eatery.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Just some housekeeping. When you checked in, you were given coasters. So for those of you who have the sativa coaster, it means that you drink drinks with alcohol. You cannot walk around the restaurant. We are a restaurant and not a bar. So you have to stay seated. If you have the indica coaster, it means you're drinking a dry cocktail, which means that you can walk around with your drink. But if you drink alcohol, if you have a glass of wine, you cannot walk around. So please just stay seated. And you are welcome to buy more drinks if you would like. We paired 3 cocktails with the bites, and we'll have our staff walking around. So just flag one of us and let us know how we can better serve you. And thank you for being here. We're excited.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, this is a great location. Can we start talking with you here? Can we start? I want to find out about WB's.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, let's do this. Tell us about WB's. Like, well, how long have you been here?
WB's, we opened WB's in November of 2019, right before the pandemic. We work with Thane, who is the owner of the Monarch, and he approached Amy, my wife, because we own Pig in a Jelly Jar. We have 3 locations. One of them is on 25th Street, and he wanted her to have a restaurant here and be the flagship for the building. So WB's was concepted on a rainy day. It started with a sandwich concept, and then it quickly evolved. We're like, well, it needs to be more than just sandwiches. I'm from Brazil, so you will notice that there's some Latin flavor on the menu. The menu is also inspired by our travels to Tulum in Europe. We wanted a place that is laid back, that you can come and work in the morning. You can have a latte, just hang out here, and come back at night to have cocktails. We have focus on non-alcoholic cocktails. Amy and I don't drink anymore. And we think that, you can have fun having dry cocktails. So we had a mixologist actually develop and come up with our dry cocktails. And WB's is also a cannabis concept. It's a cannabis lifestyle brand. So WB's can be Wonderly Brit, which is our last name, or Weed and Bites. So, it can go either way, but is cannabis friendly. We welcome everybody. We believe that we're excited that cannabis medically is legal here, and when recreational becomes legal, then we'll probably put more emphasis on the Weed and Bites, because that's what the concept's all about.
And aren't you putting some CBD and some hemp in some of your products now?
Yes.
That are being sold here? So
we work with a company out of Denver. Okay. And they make our CBD. It's 1,500 milligrams, and it's fantastic. So we white label the CBD. I started taking CBD because I have herniated disc, and I don't like taking medication. So I decided to give it a try, and it really helped me. Oh. And it helped our dogs, because we have older dogs, and they have arthritis. So it helped the dogs with the pain and anxiety too. And because WB's is a cannabis lifestyle brand, Amy said, why not have, a white label CBD? So we even have an LLC for a beverage line. So we're hoping to get into that and have a CBD beverage line within the next 12 months. So
Are you working on that right now, or?
no, we're looking for partners. So if anyone out there,
Yeah.
we talked a little bit quickly with Beverly from Helio when she was here, and we're because now the industry is growing here. If there's anyone out there that is willing to go into this adventure with us, let's chat.
So right now, Vivi, they're serving. So just to explain to the listeners where we're at. We're in this great corner space in Ogden. The sun's shining on the patio outside. There's people outside on the patio. There's people inside. Big open space. This is just it's a really beautiful space. There's a coffee bar up front. You can order coffee in the morning, I guess any time. But I had lunch here, and I had some tostadas with Brussels sprouts that were phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And you can have a beer with lunch and come here at night and have cocktails or have beer as a restaurant.
Yes.
You're not a wine bar.
No, we're not a wine bar.
But right now, so this event tonight, this Weed Social, is a multi-course tasting menu paired with some cocktails, dry or not dry.
Right.
What are we seeing now that's served first?
You're seeing a salad course. So we have, not a course, 5 bites. So the first one is a salad, and I cannot remember the name of the cocktail, but I think you have it here. The salad is fantastic. It is a spring salad with lemon basil vinaigrette, and it pairs with a pineapple paradise. So I believe that's what they're having right now. I would say watch out for the Acapulco smoke, because they smoke the drink. It's pretty cool. So
they smoke the drink
like in front of
so
you?
Like when they serve you the drink, it has smoke coming out of it. So they're prepping
almost
now.
like a cover, a glass cover goes over the drink.
We have a smoker.
And you have a smoker that smokes the drink.
Smokes the drink.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So Vinny, one of our bartenders, came up with that.
And you can choose either sativa or indica drink.
Yeah.
One is alcoholic and one is dry.
The other one is non-alcoholic. Yeah, we thought it would be nice to play off of the cannabis, because we are a lifestyle, and you can also take it home because it's cute, right? And
That's right.
It's the cocktail and on the one side of the coaster you have the cocktail and cannabis club presents Weed Social, and Cole from South Lake City host the event. He has been a great partner and our actually gateway to the community.
Right. Yeah. Shout out to Cole, right down there. Thanks, Cole. And I mean, you're the one who got us involved in this too. Salt Lake City, which had their first publication 2 months ago, 3 months ago. If you haven't seen it, there are maybe 4 or 5 copies that haven't been given out throughout the valley. You could search for them and read all about the insiders, essentially, in the cannabis space. Does a really good job of keeping the community informed. It's great to be out again.
Yeah. No,
right? Like this is the first event we've done, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, it's really exciting. I wanted to make a comment about the alcoholic versus non-alcoholic drinks.
Yes.
And I think it really fits well with the idea of a cannabis like lifestyle, because I don't know if you guys out there know this, but if you're over 40, you're more likely to use alcohol and THC at the same time, which is not very safe. It's not a very safe practice. But us over 40 people, we tend to do it more. The younger crowd tends not to do that. They tend not to mix.
Yeah.
Right? It's either one or the other. And tonight, I mean, kind of the idea is if you're going to be using THC as part of your lifestyle,
right,
then non-alcoholic drinks are going to be a better choice.
Yes, and they're great non-alcoholic drinks. Honestly, we have some non-distilled spirits that if you smell the bottle of tequila or whiskey, you would think that there's alcohol, and there's none. So you can still enjoy a great cocktail, a dry cocktail. The taste is there, but just not the alcohol. And yes, we don't think mixing THC with alcohol is a good thing. And, I come from the marketing background, and we've seen research that the younger generation, they are choosing THC and not alcohol. So you have that trend that had already started, So I mean, we hope that it will be legal recreational here, and when we get to that point, then we would switch to allow people to consume and have only dry cocktails, which is what they have in Europe, right? Amy and I went to Amsterdam, and we went to a cafe. We didn't know what to expect, and we're like, there was no alcohol, and it was pretty cool because you could choose your strain. And I don't smoke. Amy has a medical card, and it helps her tremendously. I get paranoid; it does not work for me, and I think it's because I'm already calm. I love CBD, but I ate half of a brownie. I slept the entire time from Amsterdam all the way back to Belgium.
I'm jealous.
But it was cool, and that's what we want to do here. When it becomes legal, we want to turn this into a weed and vice.
Is there rules that, I haven't seen this type of restaurant and this type of place anywhere where you can have coffee in the morning and cocktails at night. This doesn't really exist here at least in Utah. I don't know if it exists in the U.S., but are there other places that you can do this, or is Ogden unique?
I think we're unique. We haven't seen this in many places. I think you can find this concept more in LA, like in the bigger cities, but not so much here. So, WB's was inspired by our travels, Europe, Tulum, but also LA. And Amy and I love traveling, and we love seeing what other people are doing. And we wanted to bring something here. We love Ogden. Ogden is amazing. Look at this. And what better place to have a with cannabis concept?
Well, you mentioned you have a couple of restaurants in Salt Lake, or one restaurant in Salt Lake, Pig in a Jelly Jar, right?
Pig in a Jelly Jar, yeah.
Have you thought about kind of trying to make it more cannabis friendly, kind of like how you're doing this one, or doing something similar to this one in Salt Lake, or are you kind of keeping this an Ogden
We wanted to
special?
keep this in Ogden and WB's specifically. If we were to open a WB's location in Salt Lake, then we would bring that to WB, but it just fits with the brand.
Okay.
Pig is more Southern comfort food.
Oh, it's great location.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's amazing. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would fit well, but I think it's more of a signature of WB's Eatery because we have, a white label CBD, and we have bong vases here for sale that, it's the bud vase, and they look beautiful. It looks like a piece of decor, but it's actually a bong.
I didn't even see that. We'll have to
we
look
have
around
them
for
for
this.
sale throughout the restaurant,
Okay.
and I'll grab a few. But we have a stash box. So if you look through our market, you will see that we have a little bit of cannabis-related products. We have stash boxes, that we have. We have trays, and I don't know. We just want to help the community, and we believe in cannabis, and
thank you.
We're
Yeah.
excited that it's here. And I know that it has helped Amy a lot, and it helps a lot of other people. So, we think it's important, and we just want to embrace it. And that's why we brought the community together. This is an education and alliance night.
And you do these once a month, the weed socials?
Once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah, it's the third.
Third Wednesday.
Is the third or the last one? The last Wednesday of the month.
That's a great.
I'm lost.
I think it's
the last
third
one.
Wednesday, or is it the last Wednesday of the month?
Follow you on
And
social media, and I'm sure
I
they
can
can.
smell the smoke
Can you
from
smell
the
the
Acapulco smoke. Now that is not. Let's just be clear. That is not weed down there. They're burning.
I like how you have to make that kind of known.
Yeah, I gotta make that known because I would say, I see a guy down there with a lighter and a smoker. That is not cannabis.
No, those are chips that we have properly for food.
I think at this point I'd know the difference in smell.
We have a book. I don't know if we sold all of them, but there's a book that's Scratch-and-Sniff, and it's all about cannabis.
Oh, really?
It has the different strains. Yeah, Amy buys everything that you see here. She's a fantastic buyer, and she has so much fun buying it. But one of them, we were just scratching. We're like, smell this one. It's pretty fun if you just go through the book. I'll see if I can find one and I'll let you take a look at it.
Scratch-and-sniff cannabis book. I love it.
Yeah, but thanks.
Anything else we want to ask her while we have her up here, Tim?
I mean, I think everybody should come up here to WB's, whether you're here tonight or not. WB's Eatery in Ogden. The address is 455 25th Street. You need to make the trip up here.
Oh, it's worth it. It's worth it.
No, thank you. We love it here. We welcome everyone. The first Sunday of each month we have a drag brunch, which is wigs and brunch.
Okay.
And then the third Friday of the month we have a jazz band, and then the last Wednesday of the month we have with social. So come up here. We have wine on tap. We have a market with drinks. We have lattes. We have amazing dry cocktails and alcoholic cocktails, amazing food. So yeah, come on and hash out with your best buds.
How far away is the nearest pharmacy? The nearest cannabis
Now,
pharmacy?
from here,
Yeah. Just curious.
how far away, somebody down there will know, how far away is Perfect Earth from here? That's the closest pharmacy? Two,
Not
3
far,
miles
so,
south.
So come up to Perfect Earth.
A couple of
and
patients
come
down
here.
there shouting out 2 or 3 miles south.
Yeah. Go there and then come here and get some coffee.
Get
or-
some dry cocktails after you've visited the pharmacy.
I love it.
Yes.
Or you can go north and see Mindy up in Brigham City. That'd be the next one up north. Thank you so much for having us out here. I think we'll take a little
Yeah, take a little break
Take
and
a little
chat
break.
with somebody else next year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So Cole, come on, get up close to that microphone there, buddy. Let's chat. I want to talk to you about this event.
Well, here I am.
Bring that up. You got to bring with how loud the background. I want that just kind of close. You'll feel like you're talking
I
to.
need it right in my face.
Yeah, right there. So Cole, the guy behind Salt Baked.
BAKED. Yes.
Yeah.
Pun intended, right?
So how long ago did you start this weed social? Because this is kind of an event you started, right?
you know, this is our second one.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you'd been doing it for a while.
Our first weed social was on 420 last month. It's been a work in progress. This has been a great thing, though. The main idea behind it is getting the cannabis industry and those involved together under one roof. We had this program start last year, and unfortunately, a month later, COVID happened, and everybody's been busy working, getting their various pharmacies, grows, clinics, what have you started, but we haven't been together. So now that the world's turning back on, this is a great opportunity for us to, you know, get to know each other, frankly.
Is that kind of what you're hoping from? Is just a giant networking event, really? Just kind of a way for people to just, no really other agenda, just to get to know each other and hang out?
Yep, just break bread, have drinks, and talk about the green future. We were doing this. I met Tim at the Access Salt Lake meetings that we were doing monthly with the City Weekly crew.
Remember those meetings we also had at, we did those access meetings, and then there was a hemp group.
Right,
There was
down in
the Max.
Right, yeah,
club.
the barbershop club. Yeah, that was, we had one of those, I think, and then bam, COVID hit. Again, with our program, we started up March. First dispensary, Dragonfly Wellness, opened March 2nd. I can't think how many weeks after that we were put into quarantine. I think 4 weeks.
Pretty quickly.
I want to say it was
Weed
about
was
the
deemed
17th.
essential,
My
though,
calendar
in the
got
state.
wiped out.
So we have that going for us. But again, with the program started, we're a small group. The cannabis industry in Utah is tiny, and I love that. Luxury that I've gotten with Salt Lake City is getting to meet everybody in the industry, whether they're growers, pharmacy operators, bud tenders, you name it. And without being far-fetched, it's probably been the joy of my life. Lifetime friends on this past year when I shouldn't have been making friends during COVID, right?
Should have been stuck in your house, Cole.
I should have been, and I was. But I was interviewing people like you,
Yeah.
like you guys were doing over Zoom and whatever we could do over the phone, getting on certain field trips that we could to the grows to keep bringing the news, because although the world was turned off, it didn't mean that the news was done with the cannabis industry. And it was our first year, so there was a lot to report, a lot of grand openings, a lot of new jobs popping up. And what's not so funny to me is you watch local news now and nobody's talking about the 3,500 some odd jobs that medical cannabis created in Utah this past year when everybody was laying other people off.
That's awesome.
We're not only helping people, but now we're helping the state in a time of need. So medical cannabis saves the day, right?
You have another magazine coming out here, like in a month or so, or
Yeah.
2 months, or how soon here?
Actually, very soon. My team and I only half of us are here tonight because the other half are Or working. We're building the magazine this week. We should be done probably tomorrow, Friday. So we're aiming for distribution at the beginning of June. So our
keep an
second
eye out for that,
magazine,
yeah.
Again, we're a quarterly, so we're popping out every 3 months. We do have some special things in the works for June and July. We have a lot of grand openings. Block Pharmacy is opening this Friday, the 28th in South Jordan.
Yeah,
Okay, so when this episode launches,
That's right. It will be open, and that's on 103rd South, just west of I-15. You
Yep.
get off the 106th South exit, go west, take a right along that frontage road in the business complex, and it's right there about 103rd South.
That's a great location. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
Block, you said?
Block's Pharmacy. Also, they have a pharmacy in St. George that will be opening soon.
Next week, I believe.
I was down in Cedar City and St. George over the past few days talking with Bloom Medicinal as well. They're working really hard down there to open hopefully by June 1st on Tuesday
Okay.
down there in Cedar. So that will give us, Chris, the entire gamut of 14 medical cannabis pharmacies in Utah. They'll all be open.
I'm eager to see if they'll actually be able to supply all the patients like they say they will be, right? Once all the growers, once all
Not
the
right now.
pharmacies.
You know, our last field trip at Wasatch Extraction, we were talking with the owner, Steve, Fruit of Life.
Yeah.
These processors are fighting to get 30, 40 pounds a month, when in reality they need 400 in order to do the work that they want to do, operate as a medical cannabis company as they'd like to. The program gets a lot of, I'm trying to think of the right words. The program gets beat up because we don't have the products out right now. But in my mind's eye, from the media's point of view, we have the perfect problem. We have far more demand than we have supply because people are actually signing up for this program. We're about to reach 30,000 patients. It's only been the first year. The state was calling that we'd have maybe 10,000 at this point when they were laughing at us about medical cannabis. Now that St. George, Cedar City are opening up, we expect these numbers to double in the next year.
And once all those college students come back, you know.
Yeah, right?
Right down in Cedar City and Dixie, and life opening back up to events and people talking about this more. I mean, we find in the clinics that COVID has kept information quarantined as well.
It has.
Right?
What do you mean by that? What information
Because
as far as...
we tend to read information that we already know about, we already like. Social media feeds us what we're already used to. And so now that things are opening up, I think that the word will get out even more.
Because we'll be able to have events like this versus just what's on Facebook, just what they're pumping out in front of you.
Yeah.
Because that algorithm.
And there's just people even driving by right now on 25th Street looking at our green cross on the window there, and the reason they're looking is because they don't think it's supposed to be there. Why the magazine gets a lot of eyes on it is because a lot of people don't think it's supposed to be there.
Ooh, they're talking about
20% of our population right now in Utah, and this is my guesstimation, doesn't know that medical cannabis is legal. So it's my job and your guys' job to let the public know. Unfortunately, local media isn't doing that. You guys will probably agree. We get to see the same 10, 15 minute or second splurts on there maybe every other month, you know.
Right. They put out an article when a pharmacy opens. That might be a news story for half a day, and then it's gone.
Yeah, not even with every pharmacy. I remember Perfect Earth up here was on Fox 13, Channel 4, KSL. Not long after that, Wholesome Co. opened, and crickets. You know, nobody from the local media showed up except from Salt Lake City. And it makes you kind of wonder why.
Why do you think it is?
Because it doesn't sell.
You don't
for
think so,
them.
though?
No, it does for me. And it seems clear for people like you and I that it does, but
But we are still a small segment of the marketplace.
There's a reason why City Weekly hasn't started a weed magazine, and frankly, they've been ingrained into the community for over 3 decades, and frankly, they would lose more than they would gain by the amount of people they would piss off supporting cannabis. My job is breaking the stigma. Cannabis still isn't popular in Utah. We're having events like this, but don't get me wrong, it's not popular in Utah with the general public if you look at everybody collectively. So that's my job through the education, news,